Greetings, my fellow scholars of the livestream! I'm VII from the Cosmo Canyon Observatory, and in today's analysis, we'll take a closer look at some of the screenshots that got released in the wake of Tokyo Game Show 2019. Specifically those depicting the Sector 7 slums, of which there are 5 in total. As I was already far into editing the trailer analysis of the Sector 7 slums footage from the TGS 2019 trailer, I decided to cover the screenshots separately to prevent a lot of re-recording and re-editing. But before we start, special thanks to my new patrons Ellie Sane, Final Freak 16, Guillaume Damrazopardi, Tony Blonske, Adam Bins and Dachdaga. You guys are the best! If you'd like to support me on my quest to become a full-time analyst for Final Fantasy and potentially other games, head over to my Patreon or Subscribestar page and join the Scholar of the Livestream Elite. Links are in the description down below. Alright, without further dilly-dallying, let's get straight to work. The first screenshot we'll cover is Tifa's 7th Heaven by night in its full glory. The first thing that caught my eye is that it's spelled with the number 7 instead of letters like on the blackboard and plates inside the bar. It's also spelled with a number in Advent Children. The sign above says "Have a great day" instead of Texas like in the original game. It's the same slogan found on the blackboard in the E3 trailer. It's indecipherable here, but it could still say the same. In general, the new version of 7th Heaven feels much friendlier and homier compared to the original. The block surrounded with wooden planks on the roof has also made it into the remake. And it has an additional silo-like cylinder to the right. On both sides of the building, many pipes, big and small, are coming from and leading into the building. One of them seems to be connected to that wide arched hangar-like shack in the back. Could this be the water supply? It does enter the building on the upper floor, which is what you want to get the appropriate water pressure. 7th Heaven shines like a Christmas tree. It's probably the building with the most light sources. It bears those light bulb chains connected to electricity distributors, 4 additional mini floodlights on the upper floor, spotlights illuminating both signs, the lower side walls and the staircase. We also see those antique lantern-like lamps on the front facade illuminating the tables. And some more light bulbs hanging from the tarp canopies above. I don't want to know how high their electricity bill is. Why don't they run on alternative energy? It's rather hypocritical for an anti-Mako and anti-Shinra organization to use a high electricity-consuming establishment as their hideout. Electricity is produced by processing extracted Mako energy, the planet's life force. But maybe there's no alternative. I shouldn't judge before having all the information. But what I can judge is the gap in the railing. Please fix that ASAP. In the right corner of the porch, there's a cord extension spool standing around. Probably used for powering devices they set up temporarily for certain events. The porch almost looks like it's leading all around the building. I'd love to be able to run all the way around to get a good look at the area behind 7th Heaven. The stools and tables look still the same as in the TGS 2019 trailer. It seems like there were recently 2 customers on the right side according to the 2 beer bottles on the cask. And on the left side, there is still 1 customer enjoying the evening. Let's now take a good look at the surroundings. There are 4 more potential customers loitering around near the entrance having a chat. And another one at the corner of the porch, probably waiting for someone. Those numerous steel bars are still there, standing in that wooden crate. Many other doodads also remain. The stool, the rice bags, the shovel, the toolbox, the wooden beams on the wagon as well as the stock shelter to the right. However, the casks and the other wagon are missing. Either this is a simple redesign, or there will be a new delivery in the morning before the Guardians of Fate appear, which is why they're not here yet. Little side note, according to official story summaries in different languages, it looks like the Guardians of Fate is the better translation as the German, French and Italian translations all translate to that name. It looks like I'm going to call them Guardians of Fate from now on. I'm also wondering if this is a screenshot from a cutscene, from photo mode, or even a screenshot taken with a free camera in developer mode. I really hope they incorporate the photo mode. The background also provides a few interesting details. There's one of the unfinished plate extension and support struts again, as well as a small mountain range to the northwest. Behind 7th Heaven, we see the bottom half of the reactor number 8. On the left, there's a building higher up which can also be seen from Cloud's Hotel in the TGS 2019 trailer. This means that Cloud's Hotel lies even closer to the outskirts than we can see here in the screenshot. It seems like we're forced to walk quite the distance to get back to 7th Heaven when the Guardians of Fate show up. All the other buildings seen here aren't visible in the overview shot from the trailer due to the different angle. Although, we do see the parts of the element with the wooden planks on top of 7th Heaven. And here, the fence to the left of 7th Heaven can be seen again, still blocking the way to the area behind. And then there's the white hangar-like shack behind 7th Heaven I already mentioned before, which is also visible in the TGS 2019 trailer, just on the other side. Next up is the lovely screenshot of Tifa possibly asking Cloud if he'd like to have a drink, which places this screenshot most likely before the drinking scene from the E3 2019 trailer. The camera is also situated around where Cloud is sitting, if he was leaning on the bar counter. On the very left, we can even see Cloud's drinking glass, and the bottle next to it may hold that yellow liquid Cloud's drinking in the E3 2019 trailer. Unfortunately, I can't make out much on the label besides the green border, the blue background, golden stripe and the golden symbol. So until we know for sure, I'm gonna go with Chocobo Urine Liquor. Speaking of drinks, we get a better look at the list of drinks we got a glimpse of in the E3 2019 trailer. We still can't make out the individual offerings, but at least it clearly says drinks in the top left. Not sure what the other caption spells out. I'd say menu, I'd say something else. In the front, Tifa has already prepared her famous shaker, which she will probably use to fix up Cloud's Chocobo drink. Speaking of Tifa, she's looking really nice. Cloud, you lucky bastard! Anyway, her red-brown eyes are enchanting, and her other eyes are strategically covered by her black sports bra. Well played, Nomura-san. We'll save the rest of her appearance for a separate character analysis video. Behind the liquor bottle, I think there's a folded towel or rag lying around. Makes sense, gotta clean spilled drinks fast before it sticks. I don't really know what that flat blue glowing thing behind Tifa should represent. Next to that, there are 3 serving tablets stacked onto each other. And behind that, we see a white contraption that looks to be a stereo or radio with a cassette tape player in the middle. The black circle on the left looks like a speaker, and the circle in the middle might be the radio tuner display. It looks very old school and I like that. Everything should look old school in the slums. Advent Children's 7th Heaven also has a radio, but it's a very modern one as the new City of Edge seems more modern in general. I really like this parallel between both versions of this bar. Then there's another blurry note on the wall between the cupboard and the door, which might lead to the toilets. Even the letter count matches up. It's also reachable for customers as they can just walk past the bar. In the original render, the bar counter was attached to the wall, but not here. In the next screenshot, we're jumping back in time a bit to where Tifa and Cloud are having their promise talk in his hotel room. It seems to happen soon after the scene ends in the TGS 2019 trailer, as Tifa is already leaning against the wall. Graphical fidelity is much better here, in part because Square Enix haven't uploaded the high-quality version of the TGS 2019 trailer yet, and we still have to deal with YouTube compression. However, Tifa's face looks better, more refined, and a bit more mature. Proportions look correct and her eyes... wow, her eyes are piercing into your soul! They are so much more detailed than in the trailer, and that's not just because of the compression. Her hair also exhibits more details. I'm pretty sure the trailer was captured on an earlier build than those screenshots. There's practically nothing in the background, though we do see the Chocobo show poster to the right again. Much better this time if we brighten up the image. I wonder if this poster was here before Cloud occupied the room or if he put it there himself. Now on to our boy Barrett Wallace, Gatling gun extraordinaire. This takes place during the attack from the Guardians of Fate and is taken during a shot we didn't see in the TGS 2019 trailer. It happens most likely just before the frontal shot of 7th Heaven, where Tifa gets cut off and pulled away by one of the aggressors. When comparing this screenshot to the still shot where we see the X and Chips neon sign, Barrett's position, pose and line of sight match up quite nicely. We see one of the Guardians of Fate looking at Jessie in the background, as well as the stock shelter, pillar wall and the shack in the background, the one with the pipes and that circular thing which turns out to be a ventilation unit, which reminds me of the one seen in the original 7th Heaven. As with Tifa, Barret also appears in superb graphical fidelity, especially his chest and facial hair. While the lighting is top-notch, there's still some self-shadow missing. It's the most apparent on his fingers and arm, where the other body parts should cast some shadow. Let me present to you a theory by Clean Cut Chaos, a member of the livestream.net, commenter on my videos, and a valuable supporter of my Minds.com page, which puts the Guardians of Fate attack in a different light. What if that whole sequence after the talk with Tifa is just a nightmare by Cloud? Seeing those swirly shadows when meeting Aerith must have distraught him quite a bit, so dreaming about them attacking his place of living, attacking his battle comrades, Barret and Jessie, and then trying to take away his childhood friend and crush, Tifa, certainly lies in the realm of possibility. Biggs and Wedge are nowhere to be seen, as is nobody else for that matter. making this a more probable dream scenario. When Cloud exits his hotel room, we see that the curtains still cover the front window and the room generally looks very dark. Either he just woke up, or the transition from a dark bedroom to an exterior flooded with daylight stands for a transition between dream states. I really like this theory as it would explain the extraordinary situation and some inexplicable details. And it also further shows Cloud's feelings for those 3 characters participating in his sequence. And now comes the real treasure trove. This screenshot of the Sector 7 slums contains so many cool details, which is why I saved it for last. Let's have a look at the background first. There's a central pillar visible between the rooftops where the trains travel around in a spiral to transport passengers between the slums and the upper plate. We also see parts of the support pillar with the service tower in front of it, and also the 2 smaller silo thingies and the spherical processing unit. The shack with the pipes and the ventilation unit can also be seen here. Now comes the star of this screenshot, the item shop, which we already saw in the distance in the overview shot. The sign above the entrance is practically the same as in the original. Like VII, it bears 2 spotlights which illuminate the sign. The entrance is closed, however. This begs the question if all stores close up for the night. Either there really is some sort of day and night cycle, which I doubt, or we are not supposed to go shopping until the next day after the materia tutorial. This in turn would mean that, whenever it's nighttime, we can't enter certain shops. This is also less likely as the first visit to Wall Market seems to happen by night, as seen during the squats minigame, and all the stores are supposed to be open there. Maybe it's just story and location based whether the stores are open or closed. Anyway, the sign between the entrance and the store symbol looks very similar to this one inside the shop of the original render. The one depicting a bottle and a cross. One of the planks affixed to the side of the item shop has Japanese katakana written on it, spelling Fuji. No idea what that stands for, and I don't think it's a reference to neither the famous Japanese mountain Fujisan nor the camera brand Fujifilm. To the left of the entrance, there's a wooden board with several paper sheets attached. One depicts a bottle. Is that the beverage, generic medicine, or actually a potion? The rest is too blurry, but the bottom one seems to contain a sketch of a humanoid. And is that a speaker above? Blurting out announcements and advertisements when potential customers are walking by? And of course, there are several Mako and water pipes on the front and on the side. And then there's a prominent item shop sign attached to the building and hanging over the street. It proclaims to have only the best items in stock, and today's special is a high potion. Is this a static sign, or will it dynamically change to different and better items over the course of the game? We might even have to do some side quests for the shop owner to change the special offer to something. If so, please no simple fetch quests. It's the perfect opportunity to expand some lore. We didn't know what it was in the trailer, but as we now know how the sign looks like, we in fact see it already in the overview shot and when Barret gets toppled over. The pipe at the corner of the building is visible as well. And here's something I didn't see at first, but the lamp above the sign is in the shape of a potion bottle. The light also makes it look like this bottle contains luminescent liquid. Genius! And even this bottle light is visible in the aforementioned still shots from the trailer. Now let's have a look at the other buildings. There's a food and drink stand to the left. It looks like a house on wheels. Could it change locations? Canopy and counter can both be folded back to close up the shop. Below the counter, there are 2 out of 4 light bulbs missing. The owner is probably too poor to buy new light bulbs. On the counter, there's another radio. I hope we can listen to it spewing Shinra propaganda, news about the reactor bombing, or even some good old Final Fantasy music. Other than the radio, there are some bottles and cups on the counter. There's also a blackboard to the left. It says order in a heart-shaped balloon attached to the arrow pointing to the opening. Why is pop written on there? Does it list the popular drinks and meals? Unfortunately, the rest is indecipherable. There are some crates on the left and probably the establishment's name on the wooden sign on top. It might end in TER. Master? Shelter? Walter? Maybe it's something completely different. Next to the item shop, there's the pre-packaged food store we already saw in the TGS 2019 trailer. The leftmost part of the sign is visible, and it has a porch with an accompanying roof. There's a sign attached, but facing in the other direction, unfortunately. It also bears a neon sign in the middle, which is mostly covered by the stock shelter nearby. They also have some stools and crates lying around outside, leaving quite the mess on the streets. Is there another bar behind the food store? It looks like a different building than the bar from the trailer. It also looks like it's completely missing in the trailer, as there's a gap between the food store and the bar, whereas this building pretty much connects the two. Anyway, it dons 2 neon signs, one indiscernible and the other one probably says closed. and right below might be the entrance. And we can already make out the stock shelter of the other bar containing the boxes and yellow bottle crates. However, it looks like the design has changed. The trailer shows barely any roof or struts, only a small fence. It's quite hard to see though, thanks to the unfortunate camera angles. On the other side, we see the staircase, porch, railing and parts of the canopy above the entrance to 7th Heaven. And it looks like there's another food stall next to it. Its roof has some light bulbs hanging from it, and that woman seems to reach for something she might just have bought. And the ground looks messed up. It has cracks and uneven parts, but that's just usual business for the slums. And it looks like there have been more changes. Both the lamppost with the 2 spotlights and arrow post with a sign are missing here. Kind of a shame. This gives me some more ammunition for the nightmare theory. If the Guardians of Fate sequence is indeed part of Cloud's nightmare, it wouldn't be too strange for the surroundings to present some changes, as Cloud might misremember a few details, which may even lead to whole elements or even buildings missing. Or it's just a screenshot from a newer build, where they moved around and changed a few things. Occam's razor, I say. And last but not least, let's go through the residents. I already mentioned the woman by the small food stall near 7th Heaven. There's a guy sitting on the porch of the food store, probably waiting for customers. Again, several people have gathered near 7th Heaven, 3 near the corner and at least 1 near the staircase. It's definitely a different gathering than in the first screenshot we covered in this video. But what's interesting is that one of them sports a black cloak. Could this be the first of the Sephiroth clones we encounter? Though it could also be an Organization 13 cameo. Not too far-fetched with Nomura-san in the director's chair. However, it looks closer to the black hooded figures of the original game than an Organization cloak from Kingdom Hearts. And there are even rats in the slums. Rats! Coincidentally, my Chinese zodiac sign is also a rat. I feel represented! And with those furry creatures also ends our analysis for today. The next episode's content is still unclear, as my patrons of the Apprentice tier or above will choose what I'll cover next. If you'd like to have a say in future content and priority too, head over to my Patreon and Subscribestar page and join the Apprentice tier or above to get immediate access to regular polls and other inquiries regarding content and other things. Alright, let us know if there are details we've missed, and please don't hesitate to speak your mind. Let's have a discussion in the comment section down below. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell button to be notified of future uploads, and don't let yourself stop from sharing this video around. That being said, thank you so much for attending this analysis, and I hope to see you again in the next episode of Game Analysis. And always remember, stay safe and take care. VII Remake, signing off.